Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers Thursday, October 3. Taylor's stunning test results in Bill's vulnerability moves Katie. The Bold and the Beautiful B&B spoilers for Thursday, October 3, reveal that Dr. Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech, will move forward with a cardiac enzyme test that she mentioned to Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, and Ridge Forrester Thorsten Kaye. Ridge will give Taylor a little more support, so he'll once again remind her that she's not alone anymore. It's clear that Ridge is committed to helping Taylor and figuring out if her condition might actually be something treatable. Ridge isn't convinced they should believe Taylor's heart failure diagnosis, especially without the proper testing. However, Taylor has more of a doom and gloom mentality where she's already preparing for the end. That's why things may take a shocking turn for Taylor once Dr. Buckingham delivers the results she needs. Since Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, is looking for Ridge, Taylor may wind up sending him off to meet with her. Perhaps Taylor will insist there's no point in Ridge waiting around for the outcome of her test, and promise to give him updates afterward. That could leave Taylor on her own when she gets some stunning news from Dr. Buckingham. Since we know Taylor will have her doubts about her diagnosis before the week's over, that could mean she's not fading fast after all. Of course, it's possible Ridge will hang around to hear Taylor's results as well. But there'd be more drama if Taylor gets them by herself. That could leave Taylor in a position where she has to decide what she'll tell Ridge later. Taylor finally has Ridge's attention on her instead of Brooke, so could she let him believe she's still on the path to an early grave? There are surely going to be some twists in this B&B storyline, so we'll bring you more predictions on what's coming up for Taylor. In the meantime, let's talk about Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, since he'll let his guard down with Katie Logan, Heather Tom. Bill will let his vulnerability shine through and bring out some strong emotions for Katie, but she still won't be ready to commit to a romantic reunion. Over with Hope Logan, Annika Noel, and Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, they'll have another flirty interaction. Carter and Hope are teetering on the edge of something more than friendship, even if they know it's a bad idea to mix business with pleasure. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Hope and Carter will remain drawn to each other, so stay tuned to see how their connection will complicate the situation at work. On the Bold and the Beautiful episode airing Thursday, October 3, tensions will rise as secrets unravel and emotions run high. The drama shifts its focus to Taylor Hayes, Bill Spencer, and Katie Logan, as each of them faces a personal turning point that could change the trajectory of their lives. Taylor's stunning test results. The sun had barely crested the horizon when Taylor Hayes sat in her office at the clinic, feeling a heavy weight pressing down on her chest. For days, she had felt something was off. A persistent ache in her body and an unusual sense of fatigue had prompted her to run some tests. Being a renowned psychiatrist, Taylor was always busy tending to others' emotional needs. But this time, she had to focus on herself. Her heart pounded as she picked up the manila envelope containing the test results. The room around her seemed to dim as her hands trembled. She knew the contents could change her life. Memories of past struggles flashed before her, her battle with addiction, her time away from her family. She had finally rebuilt her life after years of turmoil. But now, with the simple tear of this envelope, everything could come crashing down. Taking a deep breath, she opened the envelope and scanned the contents. Her eyes widened in disbelief. She read the results again, hoping that somehow she had misinterpreted them. But the numbers were clear. Her diagnosis was alarming. Taylor's mind raced, trying to absorb the gravity of the situation. This wasn't just a minor health issue. It was something that would require immediate attention. As a doctor, she knew the severity of what she was facing. But as a mother, a grandmother, and a woman who had spent her life fixing others, this felt like an insurmountable challenge. Her first thought was of her children, Steffi and Thomas. They had been through so much already. How could she burden them with this news? And Ridge. How would he react when he learned what was happening? There was no easy answer, but Taylor knew one thing for sure. She had to be strong, even if she didn't feel it right now. Bill's vulnerability. Meanwhile, at Spencer Publications, Bill Spencer sat in his office, staring out the window. The view of Los Angeles skyline didn't soothe him as it usually did. The ruthless business tycoon, known for his confidence and bravado, felt something unfamiliar: vulnerability. His recent brush with mortality after the shooting had left him shaken, though he tried to bury it under layers of arrogance. But now something was different. Katie had been on his mind constantly. Since their breakup, Bill had tried to put on a brave face and continue his high-octane lifestyle, but the emptiness inside him grew by the day. Losing Katie had been a blow he hadn't anticipated. He was used to getting what he wanted, and losing her had brought him to a place he rarely ventured: self-reflection. Bill, for all his wealth and power, was realizing how much he needed her. The way she had always grounded him, provided him with a sense of peace he couldn't find anywhere else. As he sat at his desk, lost in thought, Bill heard a knock on the door. His assistant poked her head in. "Mr. Spencer, Katie Logan is here to see you." Bill's heart skipped a beat. Katie? What could she want? He hadn't seen her in weeks. He took a deep breath and motioned for his assistant to send her in. Katie entered the room, her expression unreadable. Bill stood up, a mixture of surprise and apprehension coursing through him. "Katie," he said softly, "what brings you here?" Katie's eyes lingered on Bill for a moment, taking in the vulnerability that he tried so hard to hide. There was a time when she knew every aspect of this man, but now he seemed like a stranger, yet somehow still familiar. "I wanted to talk to you," she began, her voice steady but laced with emotion. "There's something I need to say." Bill nodded, gesturing for her to sit. She hesitated, but finally took a seat across from him. "I've been thinking a lot about everything, about us, Will, and what happened between us," Katie said, her words deliberate and careful. "It's been hard to move on, but I think I'm finally starting to understand some things." Bill leaned forward, his eyes never leaving her face. He could feel the walls closing in, his usual defense mechanisms failing him. This was the moment he had dreaded, and yet longed for. The possibility of reconciliation or closure, whichever path Katie chose. Katie moved by Bill's vulnerability. "I've seen a different side of you lately," Katie continued, her voice softening. "You're not the same Bill you used to be. I don't know if it's the shooting or something else, but there's a vulnerability in you that I haven't seen before. It's different." Bill's throat tightened. Vulnerability was something he never liked to show, but with Katie, it seemed to seep through the cracks. "I've been doing a lot of thinking too," Bill admitted, his voice low. "Losing you, Katie, it broke something inside me. I've been too proud to admit it, but you were the best thing in my life, and I screwed it up." Katie's eyes glistened with unshed tears. Hearing Bill acknowledge his mistakes touched her deeply. For so long, she had felt like she was the only one who cared about their family, about their relationship. But now she saw the regret in his eyes, the sorrow etched on his face. It was something she never thought she'd witness from Bill Spencer. "I don't know what the future holds for us," Katie said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But seeing you like this, seeing that you've changed, it means something. I can't promise anything, but maybe, just maybe, we can find a way back to each other." Bill's heart swelled with hope, a sensation he hadn't felt in a long time. He wanted to reach out, to take her hand and promise her the world, but he knew he had to be patient. Katie wasn't someone he could control or manipulate. If they had any chance of rebuilding what they had lost, it would be on her terms, not his. "I'll do whatever it takes, Katie," Bill said, his voice thick with emotion. "Just tell me what I need to do." Katie stood up, her expression conflicted but resolute. "You've already taken the first step, Bill. You're finally being honest, with yourself and with me. That's a start." As she turned to leave, Bill watched her go, a mixture of hope and fear swirling in his chest. He wasn't sure what the future held, but for the first time in a long while, he felt like he had a shot at something real.